Hello and welcome to the Build Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I'm here to assemble a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you, and I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote into the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes, and if you feel like just being a lurker, you just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you here. It's a Thursday, and I'm working on a Squirtle. I got this Squirtle paper craft thing. It's cardboard we're putting together. It's from a brand called 4D, or a line called 4D. Yes, this Squirtle is in fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is time. It surfs through time on a wave that we have to build tonight. Because as you can see, we got our Squirtle. I have the camera zoomed out so we can get as much Squirtle as possible in the shot. And then we're going to work on the tail because this thing needs tail. And then we're going to work on the wave, the base that it sits on, or stands on, I should say, that it hangs 10 on. It's just riding those waves. Hey, Lord Crashton. So yeah, I mean, that's the hope anyway, is that this is a good time. Hopefully, y'all have fun here. So this thing does have like quirks to it. Not everything is perfect in it, and I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I'm okay with that. There are some oddities about this build, but I think that's fine. It gives it character, and I think that's okay. Now, let's zoom in a little. There we go. You can see the camera up there. So look. It's not fun to be on Twitch right now, okay? We'll say that. Obviously, it says in the title, it's going to stay in the title for a while now. I opted out. I do not want what I say on here or the contents of the chat to be used in any way for generative AI. I don't want anything I use in generative AI. As we talked about before, I have a line of dialogue in an MC Chris skit that has been used without his permission and is out there for training, and that sucks. And I think I'd like to think that I've made it clear. Okay, so we need one that sucks, and I am in no way supportive of generative AI in any instance. And also LLMs, I'm not particularly on board with for most instances, because they often replace thought. There is a world where auto translation, where and translation in general, in coding, not vibe coding, but in backing up your things in math processes, there are in image clarity, there are uses for large language models. Certainly, I'm not trying to say that there aren't. But it needs a human touch and human hands. And of course, that is not what I think of about generative AI, which is a cancer upon the world. So at this point, Dan Clancy put his foot in his mouth. If Mary doesn't stream next Monday, I will totally understand. If Mary takes a little bit of a break from her personal streams, I'll totally understand that. Here in this chat, we are sorry that Mary Kish works for Twitch. We know that she is a supportive of the community and that she understands the community. And that, like, look, do I know the inner workings of Twitch, a subsidiary of Amazon? No, I don't know the inner workings of Twitch. I can tell you that opt-out generative AI feeding was not like on her plans for the Twitch community. That is not a thing that she was like, this is my big idea. Like that, I could tell you that. Again, with, based on all evidence, I could tell you. Now, should the chief product officer of Twitch have said, if it was opt-in, nobody would opt in? No, that's an insane thing to say. Even if it's true, even if that is true, and that is like, which it is, the reason that they made it like that, somebody said at some point, well, it should be an opt-in thing because the community, like, of, even if it is not most, if there is a, like, let's say statistically, just statistically, you can look at it and you go, well, most of the people actually don't care either way. Then you listen to the people who are going to be the loudest. And the people who are going to be the loudest are the people that are like, fuck off. This sucks. You don't want to say things that'll instantly be used in headlines. Yes, you want to give boring answers that end up quoted occasionally. You want to say things like, we have options for our communities because we're listening to them, and there are some things we don't have fully fleshed out here that we will, and we made it easy for you to choose not to if you don't want to. And again, also saying this is industry standard. We know. We fucking hate that. Like, that's the thing, right? And that is what a lot of people who are, and again, I am not making any kind of accusation that anyone is fucking sick in the head about AI, but generally, the people who are most vocal pro AI and adoption say things like, it's inevitable, everyone's already using it, this is already standard, other companies are already doing this, all that shit. And they don't like that. The obvious response is, yeah, I don't like that that's true. If that's true, I don't like it. I'm against the idea of that. I don't want any part in it. So it is this thing of like, other companies doing, it's like, yeah, I hate that other companies are doing it. It's a fucking bummer that other companies are doing it. Putting this out, like all of the stuff of like, it's behind, like, you have to go in, it's not in your dashboard settings, it's in your user settings, and it's different on mobile, and you got to go through all this stuff and check all those things, and then like, there's some stuff that no matter what you say will be used, because of course it will, and some of that is to be expected but still not appreciated. And like, if like, hey, now a thing that if you care about this stuff, right, like I know some people that I will raid, like I'm aware of at least some people I know will raid, I know won't be opt-in. So if you follow a raid that I send you on, I have a good feeling you'll be okay. I don't know for sure. There's no way for me to know. There's no way for you as a consumer to know that the chat you're in currently, you're taking my word for it. You are taking my word for it that when I say that I have opted out, of fucking course I've opted out. Right? But you're taking my word for it. You're taking my word for it that this chat, the things you write in this chat won't be fed and used for, to make it better or whatever the fuck they always think they're doing with this shit. So like, yeah, you don't know. You can't say for sure. You're going to trust me. I hope you can. And I hope you can trust me with that I'm not using this shit because I don't think this shit makes any sense. It would be good. Why would I want to do it? That's the real thing. I'll say that. There we go. That's the question. Like, even if I thought generative AI was good and useful, why would I want my chat to be used in that way? I don't understand. So there'll be people who don't care, right? There's always going to be people who don't give a shit about this stuff, and they can have that silly, weird opinion. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to rate people who I think are, are going to be safe places for people to go hang out, just like I always have, right? Because that always is the thing that is important to me. It has been important to me. It continues to be important to me. That when we go and raid, that we end up with somewhere cool where it is a fun video game or fun experience, and also that the chat is polite and cool, and the streamer is cool. Like that is important to me. That has always been important to me. That'll always be important to me. And so now part of that is like, well, here's hoping that the person we're raiding doesn't fucking love generative AI. And I think like I have a pretty good judge of character when it comes to these things, so we'll see. Again, it pisses me off. This whole thing sucks. I'm sorry for I understand that Mary Kish is in community at Twitch, right? She's head of community at Twitch. So at a certain point, this is her job, and this is the things like the damage control element of this. She is not just an advocate for the community. She certainly is, and I think she's very good at that part of her job. But it is a thing where it's like, yeah, like it fucking sucks. She knows that there's part of the community that does not give a shit. They do not care. There are parts of the community that are psyched about generative AI in general. So they're like, this isn't a big deal. And actually you being mad about this makes me like it because some people are contrarian and nonsense. But she also knows there are people who are just like, well, I don't want to fucking do that. And this sucks. And fuck you. She's aware of that shit too. And I'm bummed that she has to, that I am sad that this is part of her job. Just like I am sad that people I know work for companies that have gone all in on AI and have to use those. This is the part where I share a personal anecdote here. Personal anecdote from your friend Pat. I still, on occasion, do customer service as a fill-in. There was a company that hired me several times a month to do customer service for them, to fill in. I was not a full-time employee. I was a contract employee. I was on the cover shifts, right? Those cover shifts started to disappear a couple years ago as people's regular shifts started to disappear a couple years ago. And it became harder and harder to get shifts because they were reducing the amount of people they hired because they were trying to replace everyone or as many people. They were trying to replace them with, a chatbot. They thought chatbot would be the solution because, well, if we do our own model, we get a model, and there's a middle ground company that will feed all the information, and like we'll have a few humans that kind of like, we'll do like automatic responses, and then if there's like follow-ups, we'll have humans look at the follow-ups, and because for this particular company that I was doing stuff for, most issues were just like, hey, what I ordered wasn't right. A human has to handle that. Or, hey, I'm having trouble finding this in my account. Or, hey, I ordered this in 5 business days. Why isn't my order arrived? Because they don't understand what business days means. That was like a big thing. And that continues to be a big thing. I've talked about that before. That's always going to be a big thing. People don't know what the fuck business days means. So it's going to be an ongoing issue. So they thought that ChatGPT would help them a lot. That having a chat bot, I should say, would help them a lot. So my personal anecdote is, this summer, I got an email. And all of the cover people got an email, apparently. I have found out since, after talking to a few people, that I'm not the only one to get this email, saying that starting in the fall, they are going to be needing more people to do coverage. So it seems like they are hiring back up. Now, I did not get offered a full-time position. They did put a thing in that I can apply for a full-time position if I wanted to. as of right now, as I said, they have not actually um, they have not reached out to me about a shift yet. I have not decided if I am going to agree to that or not. Money is always tight, and I kind of want to tell them to fuck off, but like also, it depends on if they're going to pay me more because my rate has gone up. They don't know my rate has gone up, but my rate has gone up since the last time I worked for them. And so if they are going to match my rate, that is something that we can negotiate and talk about. Um, that is not the first company I have heard this to be true. I have heard this for several other companies as well. I'm in a Discord with with various people who freelance and do this kind of stuff. It sounds like they're realizing that you can't actually train you can't train an AI chatbot not to make the same fucking mistakes over and over again. Mistakes that I would never make, right? Like I could have a judgment call that an object that was sent is actually what they ordered. They just ordered the wrong thing, and I should deprioritize what they're getting, and yada yada yada. I could like make a bunch of uh, uh, errors that the company that was hiring me doesn't agree with, and says, "No, Pat, that's not how you should have done that." Right? That could happen. I'm sure it'll happen again. It certainly happened in the past. But I've never given people free stuff because they tricked me into doing it. I've never given I've never told people things that are just untrue and told them that that's company policy. And so and then the company has to be like, sorry, that's not true because the chatbot was mistaken. Like I haven't fucked up in tremendous ways. I haven't caused the website, the back end of the website to not work or given people passwords or discount codes that don't exist. Like not just fake discount codes that do apply somehow but are not meant to go out to people. Like it's or like I said, fake discount codes. I've never done that. I've never given out any of that stuff. I've never told people that the company doesn't ship to their part of the country or the world before. There's something in one of the chat bots. This I have not experienced this personally, but I know that this is from somebody in the various groups that I belong to, said that one of the chat bots that they had to quote unquote assist, they were assisting the chat bot, had somewhere in it, and no matter what they did, they couldn't convince it that they did ship to the Isle of Jersey, because they did ship to the Isle of Jersey. And either the chatbot didn't know that existed or had decided that they didn't ship there. The Isle of Jersey, which is part of the United Kingdom, but not part of England. It's a whole thing. Shit's rough out there for them in many ways, including shipping from this random company, apparently, unintentionally. So, okay, wait. So this is wrong. I'm doing this wrong. I almost put the this side on the outside, and that would have been bad because that does not how it goes. It goes like this. I almost fucked up real bad at everybody. Anyway, so this sucks, and I'm bummed about it. Don't get it twisted. I think it sucks. Yeah. It's all a fucking bummer. And yeah, it's rough out there. Ugh. Blech. So there's some there's obviously that was not good news, but there is some good news in gaming. There's some stuff in here that I was like, oh, this is fun. So I have a few stories here that are nice and cool. The Game Industry Hardship Fund supporting bundle on itch will be over in about 5.5 hours at time of this stream, and is currently raised $246,000, $246,386 and 55 cents, which is a lot of fucking money going to the hardship fund, and that fucking rules. Very fucking cool. So that was nice. That was nice to see that they're trying to hit the 250,000. That would be the main goal that they're going for here. All right, so let me see if I can get this. Okay, I got to get these two in. I'm trying to figure out the best way to connect these here. So if I do that, okay, if I do that, then I can do that. Okay. So that's good news. I was happy about that. Mecha Chameleon has topped 20 million sales in their first 2 months, which is wild. Just over 2 months. So the developer said, yeah, they did 7 million in 2 weeks, and now they've done 22 million, or sorry, 20 million. That's just crazy. They did 500,000 copies in 2 days. Yeah, this game is hitting really hard. It is a ridiculous number. Good for them. I think a lot of it is just that, like, one, it is a game you play with people, and people, sometimes that doesn't work, and sometimes people are like, shit, I want to play that game. But also, part of it is just like, there is some text, but there's no dialogue, right? So it is a game you can put in a bunch of languages fairly easily, and hopefully it works out and people can play it. It blew up on streaming platforms, and that's always really nice for a game like this. And also, it's a really fucking fun game. They've had some ups and downs with some hacking, obviously, but overall, it's a fun fucking time, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. It is still the game of choice for my multiplayer crew when we have a ton of people and we want to do something silly. That game gets brought out, and for good reason, in my opinion. So that's really nice. Let's see. ArtStation. Did you know that Epic owned ArtStation? I did know that, but I had forgotten it. But I did know that at one point. And Sketchfab, which are art and video game asset platforms that got acquired by Epic in 2021. They sold them to Kitbash 3D, which is an asset library company. And boy, it seems like the people who are part of the community, now not everybody obviously, but a large portion of the community, part of ArtStation, are fucking stoked, because they're hoping that, now we don't know obviously what Kitbash 3D is going to do. We don't know. But the hope is that they'll do something about all of the AI art that flooded ArtStation, which Epic didn't care about because as a company they like AI. So it's yeah. So they're hopeful that maybe the new owners will help them out. Epic had some dumb things to say, whatever. Kitbash, the 3D art platform behind Kitbash 3D, and Grayscale Gorilla. That's a good name. All one word, Grayscale Gorilla. ArtStation said, together with ArtStation, Sketchfab's art publishing and discovery platforms, artists are supported across the creative process. The subreddit for ArtStation has been pretty positive here. Free from Epic and their love of AI slop. That's some good news, I hope. Said one person, I have no faith in Epic Games. It's generally impressive how they manage to fuck up everything they touch. I'm happy that two of my favorite websites on the internet are not under their control anymore, which is, man, that's, I mean, very true. And also, yeah, it's like, oofta. Damn, Epic. You're beloved, huh? Yikes. I mean, it's not surprising in any way, shape, or form that people are like fucking stoked that any company gets free. In the same way that we are often super stoked if a company has been debraced and have gotten out of Embracer Group. You know, like we often are fucking stoked for that shit because fuck Embracer, obviously. And fuck Epic, of course. Let's see. ArtStation followed up the official statement with a post on X about how they are hopeful about what the next chapter could mean and are listening to user feedback. There's trust to earn, a lot to learn, and important work ahead. The feedback we're hearing from artists matters. So yeah, hopefully their new ownership, and hopefully they can point at their new ownership, like, hey, every positive message we're getting is about how they hope that we're going to take care of this AI shit. So that's there you go. Well, hopefully that reaches the right ears. Speaking of breaking free, another nice little news story. If the reason you did not purchase and play South of Midnight was because you don't want to buy things from Microsoft, perhaps you are taking part in in efforts to not support Microsoft in any way, shape, or form, or just in general, if you have a stance, if you're taking part of a boycott, perhaps, there are a number of reasons. Compulsion Games is independent, and now they're the publisher of South of Midnight. So this is a good excuse to get that fucking game. Get it on Steam. Yeah, on Steam, South of Midnight's new publisher is now listed as Compulsion Games. And yeah, so now proceeds don't go to Xbox. So that's some good news. That is something positive in this. And so yeah. If you still feel icky about it, I understand, but no, there's maybe you've got some justification for taking a look-see. All right, so this has got to go here. Yeah. There, and then there's no like there's no guide on these pieces right now, which is a little frustrating. Whatever. I think these are in the right spot. I'll find out in a bit if I fucked this up, but I think we're doing it correctly. Let's see. All right, now we are in the bad gaming news section. Unfortunately, there's a lot in the bad gaming news to go through here, so we'll go through these. CD Projekt Red has laid off 9 people. And they are moving upwards of 9 people to other projects. This was 4 people in Boston and 5 people in Poland, and 9 other people are maybe moving to other roles and other things. These were all people who were working on the Witcher multiplayer game, Project Cyrus, which seems pretty dead at this point. But now, if you are moving 9 people off of it and letting 9 people go, it seems like that could be dead in the water, or they're putting it back in the old think tank stage, and so they know they're not going to be working on it for a while. I don't know. I don't have answers for you about that. Just that it seems bad. They're reducing the size of the serious team to reflect the project's needs at this stage of development. When you need less people, that's often not great. So we did have those layoffs. Supermassive Games is eliminating up to 75 roles. That is quite a few goddamn roles in the company. This is the UK stuff, so they have to make some announcements. They laid off 36 people last year and delayed Directive 8020. Did you remember, folks? No, this is just might be me. I forgot that game came out. Directive 8020 came out in May of this year, and I did not register with my brain. I was like, yeah, and when does that game come out? It did. They have certainly laid off quite a few people over the past several years. I knew because I watched the Nextlander stream it. Okay, yeah, just did not register with me, did not become a thing I'm aware of. Sorry, let me check one thing here. I just have to check one quick thing. Let's see. Sorry, I have to look up one thing here. But yeah, that's a lot of fucking people. Let's see. Did they actually add this? Did they do it? They have still not. Great. Saber Interactive. I wanted to check. I do not owe the CEO of Saber Interactive the benefit of the doubt, but I wanted to give the company the benefit of the doubt. They use generative AI to make that video game, and they have not disclosed it on Steam. They have disagreed on if they actually used it if they used ChatGPT to write dialogue for the game or storyline for the game. It's a fucking mess. There are accusations by former employees that they did, the multiple former employees that they did. They also were like, no, we didn't use it for that. I mean, we used it for the game. We used AI to make the game. They still have, and still as of right now, have not disclosed that on Steam, despite telling people that they used it. It continues to be a fucking mess over there. And that CEO eats shit. People knew that. They've known that for a very long time. It's a consistent thing. He's one of the guys that when they were part of his job at one point was to figure out who should be laid off at various companies as part of Embracer Group, and his general outlook was, we're not laying off enough people. Oh, what's this team? This team that's never made a game. We should lay off these people because they're never going to finish this game. And it's like, hey man, you didn't have to acquire that studio. Company acquired them. I don't know. Like, they didn't choose this shit. Ever hear of fucking mentorship? No, of course you haven't. All right, we're now going to use the last piece on sheet B, which is not the last piece on sheet B, which means, oh no, I'm sorry. I missed a step. No, B38. What about B34? I did miss B34. Okay. So that helps. They were like, that's the last piece. And I was like, that doesn't seem like the last piece. Yeah, what about B16? I missed B16 as well. Jesus. Okay. All right. Okay, Pat. We'll get that on there. The part where I was like, oh, I'm not sure where this piece goes. It would be helpful if there was a guide. Well, part of that would have been if I put the piece on here that makes it easy for me to figure that out. So, you know. Not really their fault on that one. But yeah, we're done with Sprue B here. 14 people have been laid off at That's No Moon. This is the revealed the game Crossfire that they're working on, revealed in June. That's No Moon. This is by employee. There's no official statement as of right now. It seems like this is from employees making personal statements on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, my first job in the games industry, I have been hit with layoffs. At That's No Moon wrote a associate environmental artist. Literally their first job in the games industry, and they get laid off. Like, just like, unfortunately, like, unbelievably telling, and it just, that sucks. Unexpected. A few of them said they were unexpected layoffs. 14 affected. People had nice things to say about That's No Moon, but you know. They got an investment from Smilegate in 2021 when they formed. This was Infinity Ward and Naughty Dog folks. And they had a big reveal. Yeah. Oops. Why is this not? Sorry, this is not going where it's supposed to go, and that's frustrating. There we go. Now that's in. Okay, we're almost done with the tale. Yeah, so that's a shame. And one more, unfortunately. Sorry, this is a double whammy. This is 2 closures. Night School Studio and Moonloot Games are both being shut down. These are studios owned and operated by Netflix. This is 2 of the 3 developers they still had. They're closing. Night School Studios, who made Oxenfree, the Oxenfree people. And Night School Studios released Unhinged in late June of this year. Let's see. Unhinged can be played on a browser or television. Zoe Kravitz did a voice in the game. Moonloot, no announced projects. They clearly were working on something, but we don't know what that was. And we probably won't ever know. As is the way of these things. Just, you know, somebody will know, but not the general public, what they were working on. They released Oxenfree in Night School in 2016, and then they got and then Netflix published the sequel, and then acquired them in 2021. They were the first ones to be acquired, and then Moonloot spun up internally in 2022. So these were not, both of these were not acquisitions. This was an acquisition and a studio they did themselves. I hope the folks that that have been affected by this find something. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know what to tell anybody about trying to get jobs in the games industry. It's looking hard out there. Competition is going to be fierce for a lot of folks. And if folks want to get out of the games industry, there's never been a better time to find out something else, which fucking sucks to say, but I stand by it. It's so fucking rough out there for folks in the industry. Yeah, man. I don't know. Sorry, a bunch of bummer stuff, but to say all at once, but it's true. These are all true things that happened. It's been a little while since we had the big rush of layoffs, so I did want to mention them. Is there anything else neat or new? Here's a fun. This is a little one. This is a little story. This means basically nothing. It's just kind of funny. There was a big press stuff going on for Marvel's Wolverine, which is a PS5 exclusive. Insomniac's working on. There's a bunch of previews and stuff, and people learned some things. And there was an interview. IGN made a good asked a great question. They were like, "Hey, how come Wolverine's clothing repairs itself? What's up with that?" Uh, and they basically just were like, it would have been weird if you just walked around half naked for the entire game. So we just decided that it would make the most sense practically for him his clothes to heal. Like, they didn't come up with like an in-universe explanation. They didn't like find some obscure, like, well, in this one issue, it did do that, and then they retconned it out, but we liked it. Like, they're like, no, yeah, it'd be weird. So we just made it so that he uses his healing factor. Or it acts like his healing factor. We thought it'd be weird otherwise. And I like that. I like that honesty. I like that answer. Find the right balance between clothing that reflects the gameplay you're doing and this brutal combat and the realities of that, and finding the right moment to have it restore itself so you get the right cinematic feel for Wolverine. Early on, you'll be playing through missions and your clothes are shredded for way too long. You don't feel as powerful as you're playing through. So yeah, we definitely found the right balance was the right thing to say. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just wanted something a little nice, and that I was like, that's cute and fun. All right, I gotta try to get this on. I'm gonna try going the other way here. Maybe that's the issue. But for whatever reason, I'm having a tough time getting these couple pieces to stay in right. So let's it's the tail you're going to see at the least, but I still want it to be structurally sound as much as I can. I still want it to kind of work. Yeah, okay. So that's got to go in like that. I'm gonna use my spudger here. Instead of going through, it keeps like folding itself, which is not good. Which is the one failure point I've seen on these is sometimes the piece kind of like the piece of cardboard kind of like folds in on itself instead of going through. And I don't know a good solution for that. I'm sure I'll figure out a tip and trick eventually, but right now I don't have anything good about that. I guess I could maybe widen this even a little bit. Maybe that would help. Just kind of widen it up a little bit so the piece kind of goes through there. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I just ruined it, but that might help some. That. And like that. And then like that. Oops, that piece fell off as I was doing it. All right, that's better. It's not perfect. This keeps popping up. Yeah, it's definitely not better. Okay, I thought it was better, but it's definitely not better. All right. Let's hold this like that. And then I'm going to Just not too much, but I'm just going to saw this open a little bit more. Again, this is the tail. It shouldn't be super noticeable, but I don't want it to like open up. All right. That doesn't look great, but from a distance, you won't really see it. It'll be okay. And then I just got to get this piece back on here. Okay, that's the tail. Gave me some trouble there. And then this will go on here. Like that. And then hopefully this will just go on nice and easy. Yeah, it does. Great. Now Squirtle's got a tail. Squirtle, Squirtle. Look at Squirtle's tail. Hell yeah. Squirtle is now top heavy, or this is not balanced Squirtle at all. Squirtle was always top heavy. This has not made it better. So Squirtle is going to fall all the time. And put Squirtle like that for now. All right, we had to do a little surgery there, but I think it worked out okay. Hopefully everything's good there. Lord Crashton wants me to hit the dance button. I will hit the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points for the dance button. Here it is. Doodle-doo-doo. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. All right. Thank you for the channel points. A couple new matches got added to AEW's All In, which is going to be a Sunday, August 30th. So it is a Sunday afternoon, starting. Technically, I would say by the time that pre-show starts, I believe it'll actually be Sunday morning for me. Certainly the West Coast, it'll be in the morning no matter what. And some matches got added, or confirmed at least. Kyle Fletcher will defend the AEW International Championship against Takeshita and Okada. This has been fun because he was like, don't tell me I have to fight Takeshita again. He's like, you don't have to just fight Takeshita. You also have to fight Okada, who they're not feuding, but they're not getting along. So that was a good bit of business. That'll be a great match. It'll be 5 minutes too long, but it'll be a great match. All right, so I need F6, which is this one. This base is large. This base is large and in charge, and I got to poke out all the pokies on this one. So this is going to take a little while to get all these pokies out, and hopefully I'll get all of them out. Let's get all these out. Let's see. Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match for the AEW TNT Championship. So we know that now as well. People were wondering, is Jericho going to get added to that match, or do you just want something with Kevin Knight and he'll beat him again later? We don't know. We still don't have Jericho added in anything. I don't know why he would get added to that match, and I think it would be bad if he did. I think it was just they wanted a match on Wednesday, and then also that match didn't go great because Jericho is an old man. Puppet Jared is raiding. Welcome, Raiders. Hello. How's it going, everybody? I'm Pat Baer. If you're new to the channel, I build model kits and Lego sets, and occasionally, weirdly enough, I build things that are papercraft, and I don't do papercraft a lot. So this is an interesting one. The ghost of Chris Jericho still attempts to wrestle. Indeed, he does. He tries. Sometimes he tries very hard, and sometimes he phones it in real bad, and it's embarrassing. I gotta say, there's a bit where they were talking about Knight breaking Darby's record. They put the fear of God in me. They put the belt on Jericho. Yeah, they could. But yes, welcome, Raiders. We were talking a little wrestling here. To pause on that, because we'll probably come back to it. So here's what we're doing. We're going to work on we've done most of a really wild build called the 4D build. 4D build is the brand name. And what we're building is, this is an officially licensed product. It is, I'm going to have to zoom out so you can see it better because it's big. This is a chunky friend here. This is Squirtle, made out of cardboard. This is a papercraft kit. It is a, 4-dimensional, but it's a 3-dimensional. It's really fun. It is a strange thing. It's not a perfect thing. There's a lot of imperfections, but I don't dislike that because it feels like fun. They call it like a puzzle because it is like assembling a puzzle, even if you're following a guide. And I think it turned out great. We're building the waves, the base. You can see it in the photo above me here. We are going to build that now. That's all we have left on this. No glue required. I would say they give you this little tool here to punch out, because some parts you need to punch out these little things so that things can poke into that. And that's like the most you need as far as tools, the thing they supplied. Most of it is just punching them out. You get these sprues like this, and then you just pop out the stuff with your fingers, and it works pretty great. This company that licensed this also does jigsaw puzzles that I've done on stream before as well. Spin Masters, and so I was like, yeah, I'll give this a shot. I also got this on sale, I'll say. It was on discount, and I was like, it was like, I think $12, and I was like, or $11, and I was like, that is a perfect price to find out if I like this or not. Because I don't like building things that are terrible. I want to say, I don't like building bad things, but sometimes a bad thing, a bad design, or a bad build quality can be funny. And so I don't hate that. And sometimes, I don't want to say that my usual viewers like me being frustrated, but occasionally I'm pretty funny when I'm very upset with some garbage. And occasionally I can also use it as hey, just so you know, this company, I don't think this is good. You shouldn't get this. But I can tell you that, like, last year we tried out Blockies, or early this year, I should say, we tried out Blockies, and they're making some cool, like Transformers model kits, and I've been interested in that company. Yeah, I mean, like, if I can be a public service, that's helpful. I try to be a public service in various ways and shapes and forms, and if that's one of them, that's nice. I gotta drink some water. I'm in need of some water. So I'm gonna take a hydration break for just a second. Nice. Yes. They do want $65 for the evolution one, the evolution one. But yeah, that it's probably a pretty big thing. Like, I bet all of them are good size, and that is a lot of money. I have spent more for less, but yeah. How big is it, Pat? Well, for reference, the tail is as long as a Sharpie. Like, that should be a pretty good reference. I don't know if I have anything that's a good reference here other than, like, the head is most like 2/3 of a Sharpie. I think that is a pretty okay point of comparison. A pen. Here it is next to a pen. That's pretty big. There are measurements out there, I'm sure, but it's chunky. It's a chunky friend. I had to zoom my camera out because I was like, oh, this is getting big. It's tall. When I take a photo of it, I'm going to have to move my mic out of the way to take the photo of it. All right, I'm trying to poke through here. I got to get through all these spots here so that I can start plugging stuff into it. It's the size of 3 hamsters, 5 potatoes. Yes. Indeed. We were talking a little wrestling before people arrived. AEW's All In is their next big pay-per-view. I've been mildly disappointed with the build to it because some of the storytelling I have been less than enthused by. But I think the matches will all be excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing who wins this or who gets to the final two in the Continental Challenge Cup. They add another C to it. It was the Continental Cup for a while, and they suddenly added the word challenge, so now it's the CCC, which is silly, but okay. Maybe they couldn't copyright Continental Cup, but they can copyright Continental Challenge Cup. I'm excited about that because there'll be wrestlers I like in there, and Jon Moxley. This version of Jon Moxley I just do not enjoy. I hope that he loses and that they break up the Death Riders. I think it's run its course. Long past. When he lost the world title, that should have been the end of that storyline. And instead, it wasn't. He just won a mid-card belt instead. It's like, why are we doing this? Honestly, my main event is Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. That's going to be an excellent match. They have great history. They work really well together. It's going to be that's going to be a good one. That's my main event. I think Kenny and will do a fantastic job, but the story of that has been, but it's not been good. F3 is our first one. Think they were going to bring Kofi and Xavier in as Swerve's teammates. So, like, there's an idea that maybe Swerve would find people from outside the company to be his tag partners, but, like, he's a heel, and if you were bringing in Kofi and Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, I should say, if you were bringing Austin Creed and just Kofi into AEW, you bring them in as baby faces, and I don't know. I mean, obviously, Swerve incredibly popular. It's hard to boo him, even if he is being a heel. I don't know if that's the spot that you bring them in with. I think them making an appearance at All In makes sense, but I don't know if it's in a trios format. I assumed they were going to bring back his white boys. Going to bring back Trench and the other guy whose name I can't remember. They should bring back those random white dudes that were hanging out in Swerve's posse. But yeah, I don't know. I think that would be a weird fit. They could do it. I don't know. My assumption was that it would be the Demand versus Brody and Bandito and Hangman. That's the match you do. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so if you're like, Pat, how do you figure out where this needs to go? Well, they give you a helpful hint. There are helpful hints around here. You can see there is a red square on this, and we find on here the red square. Red square, red square. So that's the piece that goes into, and you just do it like that. Very fucking helpful. Honestly, intuitive and very helpful. Sometimes there are numbers, like there's number 1 and 2 and 4. If we find a piece that has that, we've got it. When I know that the next piece is going to build off of this, which makes a lot of sense. So this thing is on occasion pretty intuitive and pretty helpful, which is nice. I am not going to do my huge thing I normally do at this time, but because we have a bunch of guests, I will refrain. Is I do a bunch of self-promotion of stuff that I'm currently have made or ways to support the channel. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be incredible. If you want to hit the follow button so you know when I go live next, that would be great. I would appreciate that as well. A thing you can do if you are interested is just click on this link. This would help me out a lot. Watch my 1-minute video I do 1-minute videos on YouTube as YouTube Shorts. It's a series called Kuma Baer. It is my anime recommendation series. And if you like the stuff you see at Puppet Jared, you might like that recommendation series, because I do try to recommend a bunch of different stuff. And the hope is that some of the stuff I'm recommending is things that you've never heard of, that I could expose you to, that would be new to you. In this particular case, I'm talking all through the month of August about anime that is really cozy, like the chillest of chill, because being a slice of life doesn't mean you're a chill anime. And some chill anime aren't necessarily slice of life. So I'm just talking about like the chillest of chill anime. So I talked for a minute about a Fate show. And I know what you're saying, and I hear you and understand you. You're saying to yourself, Pat, what are you fucking talking about? The Fate series are like action series, and like they're based on visual novels, and they are horny as hell, and they feature like too many characters, and there are like different versions that are based on the main storylines and alternate realities of storylines, and there are spin-offs and spin-offs of the spin-offs. But today's menu for the Emiya family is based on a manga spin-off of Fate that is a cozy food show. They're like 15-minute episodes. They originally got released once a month for 13 months. And so it was just like, oh, it's the first Saturday of the month. Here's the new Emiya family cooking one. And it's a alternate reality where all of the main characters from today's menu for the Emiya family, all of the main characters are having a good time, and it's nice to be there. And that's the premise. Like, what if it's just a show where these characters like eat good food and they haven't been like traumatized, and terrible things haven't happened to them? What if they all got along? And they still have their familiars. They still have, like their summons are still there. It's just, this is just like a world where, like, I don't know, some of them work part-time and they eat good food, and Saber gets to eat good food and have a nice time, and she deserves it. It is an adorable show. So watch my 1-minute talk about that, and then, I don't know, watch a couple other videos if you like. That one did unbelievably poorly. Usually, in the first day of a short that I make for Kuma Baer going up, it will usually do at least 100 views. Sometimes it will do upwards of like 1,000 views, or like several 100,000 views. This one has done 32 views in 24 hours, which is bad. It means that it did not get sent out to people. Now, everyone has their understandings of why some of these work and some of them don't. Anime does well on shorts, so my anime stuff should do well. All of them should always do at least kind of well. But honestly, it feels like part of it is just like, if I do a show where I have a word in there that is not a common English word, it doesn't get pumped out to some people, which is a bummer. You'd think that it would, but it doesn't, because the algorithm just goes, this isn't something we want people to see, which is a shame, because they would like it. Every once in a while, one of my videos does really super fucking well, and that's great. So yeah, watch that short if you want to watch anything. I guess I'll also put a link in here to the most recent episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, because I recommended some shows that are happening this season that you might be interested in. And I try to do recommendations of different genres, so you have a wide variety of things to check out. So you can watch that if you're looking for some new anime that's out. And I try to recommend stuff on various platforms as well, because not everybody's got Crunchyroll, or they don't have it all the time. And maybe you've got Amazon Prime, and you're like, I wish there was anime on Amazon Prime. And then I get to go, there is fucking anime on Amazon Prime. It's I know that sometimes it's actually a trick, and it's stuff on High Dive or Crunchyroll, and you go and you click on it, and it's just like, oh, you need to, for whatever reason, Amazon Prime has a thing where they're like, you know what people really want to do? They want to link their Crunchyroll account with Amazon and use Amazon to watch Crunchyroll anime. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe some people do that, but I can't imagine a lot of people do that. But there are some originals or some stuff that Amazon has licensed that like fucking rule. My second favorite anime of 2025 happened to be on Amazon last year. City, the animation, which is phenomenal. This season, The Ghost in the Shell, the Science Saru adaptation of the original manga Ghost in the Shell. That's on Amazon Prime. The people that made Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin and Devilman Crybaby and Sonata and just like Science Saru is prolific, and even their like misses are still like interesting. So them doing this Ghost in the Shell is fantastic because for a lot of people, their version of Ghost in the Shell is just standalone complex, which, do not get me wrong, standalone complex is phenomenal. I am not trying to say that it is not phenomenal, but it is an interpretation of the source material that does make some big changes to what's happening there in some ways that like were probably like perfect at the time, but in retrospect, I'm like, the major is like kind of a fuck up in some ways and funny, and that version of the major is not funny. It's like So this is an adaptation of the manga, and it's been a good fucking adaptation of the manga. Goddamn, it's been good. I really recommend it. And then like if you've got, look, here's the thing. I'll say this. You might have Amazon Prime and not realize there's cool anime on Amazon Prime that you should be checking out. You might have Crunchyroll and you feel overwhelmed by the amount of shows because Crunchyroll only picks a few shows a season to really like promote, right? Because they have so much fucking anime that they don't have to like go hard on whatever, like obscure thing they got in order to get something else, right? They don't have to go hard on everything. If you have High Dive, if High Dive is how you engage with anime, because you really need to keep watching Non Biori and you don't own the Blu-ray, so you just have High Dive and you pay for High Dive every month. You probably know what High Dive has. You're probably aware. You probably don't need to tell me, or you don't need me to tell you that The Forsaken Sanctus and her foodie road trip in another world is really fun and pleasant, and you should check that out. Because you're probably watching everything that's on High Dive right now. Because they don't have a lot of new stuff every month. And if you have Ocean Vale, I see you. You got Ocean Vale, huh? Okay. All right. Okay. No judgments here. No judgments. You're paying a lot for that service. But no judgments. You do you. Live your best life. Okay. If the only anime streaming service you have is fucking goddamn if the only streaming service you have is Ocean Vale, then you are a pervert. We'll throw that there. And if you have Hulu, you should be watching Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. Because it fucking whips ass. Goddamn. It's real good. I'm currently borrowing a Hulu login so that I can watch that show, and it's really fucking good. This return to Bleach has been fantastic. They are fixing is a harsh word. They have made some adjustments to the source material that was very rushed, the original manga. was kind of busted in some ways. And so they've made some good things. Lord Crashington, I would say yes, it does whip the llama's ass. It's really good. I am nostalgic for that era of shonen where the main character... Look, I do love our 2020s, I should say it started earlier. Our late 2000 teens into the 2020s, good boy main character, right? The 2000s had the 90s and the 2000s had guys like Yusuke and Gon and like, or with the Bleach we had Ichigo. We had main characters who were like imperfect, that were struggling, that sometimes were like punks. They were kind of like like bad boys a little bit. Bad boys with a heart of gold, but they were perceived to be bad boys. And that got replaced in the 2010. Like, I mean, hell, Naruto was a little scamp. Like, that was Naruto's thing, was he was doing stuff to get attention because nobody would fucking pay attention to him. And so he would just get negative attention because it was at least fucking something, right? So, like, he had that going for him. All right, so, but the 2010s into the 2020s now, we've had a wave of good boy shonen protagonists, right? Midoriya made mistakes, but Midoriya had a heart of gold, just trying his goddamn best. Little guy just trying to do what he could. But like, Jujutsu Kaisen and Black Clover, like they had personalities. Fire Force, God, there's so many of them. Basically, Demon Slayer, Lashbrook, that is an excellent example. Demon Slayer is a perfect example of that. We got into a period of like, these boys have a heart of gold and they're trying their goddamn best. I mean, Shaman King bucked the trend because that's a good boy. That's a real good boy. But like, there was a period there where that was not necessarily what you were getting. And Ichigo, I kind of miss that kind of character. I kind of miss that. It is nice to be watching that. We're in the fourth and final part of the last arc of Bleach, and it has been pretty fucking cool. Can I sort by? I can't sort by I can't. Any chart does not. Maybe any chart doesn't do that. Maybe any list will do it. I wanted to sort by like, I want to search on any list for I can do genres. I can do seasons. This is the summer. I can do summer format, airing status, airing summer 2026. Okay, I can't search by what channel it's on, which is a shame because I wanted to do that. I just wanted to like look to see like what's on Netflix right now that people might want to check out, because it's it's nice to, like, Sparks of Tomorrow I bounced off of, but some people, I've been told that Sparks of Tomorrow had some fucking twists going on in it. I kind of gave up on that show. I might go back to it, but I've been told that one had there were some fucking movement going on in that show. I was like, okay, I might check that out again. All right, so this is E15. E15 starts here. We're making some layers here. We're stacking some layers. We're going to figure it all out, everybody. But thanks for everybody that's sticking around, came in from the raid. I know this is not laughing at old cartoons or being psyched about old cartoons or whatever. Certainly I'm not doing the same thing. But isn't that fun about raiding sometimes? You just like find something else, something a little different. When you set out at your phone or your computer today to watch some stuff on Twitch, did you think that you'd be hanging out with someone who is building a wave stand for a Squirtle out of cardboard? I don't think you thought of that necessarily. Statistically, I'd have to say it's unlikely that that is something that you thought was going to happen. Maybe you did. Maybe you were like, "Oh, this is it. I know what's going to happen on my Thursday." Maybe. You know, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know. Let's see. Lord Crashington wasn't expecting it. You should have been, Lord Crashington. You know what the deal is. You know what you've signed up for. Oh, I have officially dropped below 30 subscribers, so the number goes back. My goal is to get to 30 subscribers. If you'd like to become a subscriber or gift a sub, feel free to do that. Obviously, no pressure, but I do shut up when I hit 30 subscribers. So I thought I'd mention it. Trying to get back to that 3-0. I got a payout from Twitch. I'm using that to buy. I'm waiting for that tomorrow to look. I'm going to buy some other stuff to build. We'll go. Okay, so this goes here. All right. And then we got to hide this frame by putting this here. Yes, this goes like this. Okay. So we'll just find all the peg parts in here and we'll do it nice and slow. Oh, here's one thing I wanted to talk about. We'll find out how this works. I'm not going to do it on stream because I could set up a stream where I fix my chair, the chair I'm currently sitting in, where I do an upgrade to this chair. But it would be a very short stream, and so I'm not going to bother with that. But I have spent $28 on an upgrade for this chair, and we're going to see if that upgrade fixes the issues I'm having with my chair. And what issue is that, Pat? The hydraulic is going on it. The hydraulic shaft on this chair. This is a Lazy Boy office chair, and it has served me well in the times I've had it, but it is now hitting the point where it is sinking a little bit, and I lift it up to the highest it wants to be, and then it will sink a little bit more. And the actual cylinder, if this is like the cylinder is coming up here, the cylinder has now sunk down a little bit, and just kind of compressed. So I bought a replacement cylinder, which is longer than the one I have, and that should help. And also is rated for up to 450 pounds, which I am nowhere near. I am a large man. I'm a big boy. I'm a big man that likes a nice comfy chair. This chair is wide enough for me. The armrests are comfortable. The headrest is nice on it. I like this chair quite a bit. I've had it for a couple of years, maybe only a couple of years now. Not too long. Let's see. I need E1. Where is E? B, C, D, F. Where did E go? Sorry. I think I finished E and throw it. I have to go get E. This is F. Here's D. Here's C. Here's E. Okay, I found it. I put it in the wrong place. I was like very confused where E went. I put it where A and B used to be. There we go. Found it. This is what we're going to be using a lot of. So I was like, where'd that go? So yeah, I got a replacement. I have watched. skeeted this over on Blue Sky, that I have used. I bought or I watched enough YouTube tutorials that I feel like I'm an expert. So what I have to do is I have to use a clamp to take the top part of the chair off, which I should be able to do. And if I have to unscrew the piston part of it, I can do that if it doesn't want to come off. And then I need to use a hammer to knock the old cylinder out of the wheelbase. And the thing that has been suggested, which seems pretty like a smart idea, is to get a bucket, like a big bucket, and put it on there, and so that way you're hitting the piston, the hydraulic thing, the old one, into the bucket, so it doesn't like hit the floor and bounce around and be obnoxious. And I was like, that sounds like a good plan. All right, so this needs to go here. So we'll see. That's arriving on Saturday. So on Saturday, I'll be able to give you an update, Saturday stream, if that has proven to be a nightmare or not. And here's hoping it isn't a nightmare. And it works. Separating this top of the cylinder from the chair will be probably harder than separating the cylinder from the base. But yeah, it's fallen, and so I'm like very hopeful that this new one, which again is taller, because like even if it's tall and has to like, I have to like drop down the chair a bit, like I'm fine doing that. This chair, when I got it new, I had it as tall as it could be, and so I was like, I'm like, oh, okay, that should hopefully help. I'm just noticing that like it's lower than it should be. Right now, my chair is a little lower than I would like, and so I don't want to throw the chair away and get a brand new chair. That's crazy talk. So instead, I'm going to hopefully solve the problem another way. All right, so I need E6 and E21. Oh yeah. If anybody's been playing any video games or reading anything they want to talk about, watching any anime, if you're watching anything like that, any TV, anything like that, I played more Big Walk yesterday with my multiplayer crew. I do have a bunch of folks. Some of the people in this crew, we're on a Discord together. I have been playing games with for like over 20 years. Some people are friends of friends and new. Some folks like they just want to play like when we were playing a lot of Halo Infinite. They came in for that. And we haven't seen much of them since because that was the game they just really wanted to play more Halo. There are some folks that only right now they just want to play Mecha Chameleon, which is fair because that game fucking rules. So I've been playing Mecha Chameleon a bunch with friends. So that's been nice. Right now, the thing that we are all kind of collectively super into is Big Walk. And I'm in 2 different Big Walk games. And it is rad. No spoilers, of course. No puzzle. I'm not going to get deep in puzzle stuff on that. Hasn't been out that long, and some people are still trying to get folks together. Some people will watch streamers play it and never play it themselves, and that I think that's fine. That's not my experience, but like that, if that's your experience, that's your experience. It's neat. Dang, it's neat. It is just really fun. Really inventive. I'm not having any trouble. Like I know that for some people it is a barrier of the communicating and not being able to fully communicate with people. I would say if you're just 2 people, it's fun. If you are in 4 or more, it is great. That is to me the dividing line on that, is that it is the more the merrier because it does add to a lot of chaos. and trying to figure some stuff out. And it's, I think, way more fun with more people. That's just my personal opinion on that. And that's been really great. I did something that I don't normally do. I'm not usually one for this often. If I don't like a game, I think, like, hey, sometimes I'm not going to like a video game. Sometimes it's just not going to work for me. Other times it'll work. It's just like, but I can pick out something about it, right? If I see a video game and I'm like, this makes sense. This wasn't for me, but, people are really liking it. And, not every game has to be for me and that kind of thing. That happens. But sometimes there are reasons where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask for a refund. I played 0 minutes of a game and got a refund for it because I want to look up the full fucking name of it. Restory, Chill Electronics Repairs. So I didn't end up playing any of this. I wanted to play it on stream, and I wanted to play it from the beginning because I thought it would be a fun game to check out. You're in Japan. You're working in a repair shop. But turns out, now, as far as we know, confirmed, there's only a tiny bit of AI, a generative AI in it, and that was they did outsourcing for the Steam backgrounds. But they did that for AI, and they're like, oh, it's only for that. We promise. But that excuse is often used for people who are like, please don't be mad at us. We're just little guys. That AI excuse doesn't really hold a lot of water with me. Because you do need those Steam backgrounds, but like nobody gives a shit about that's unfair. Many people give zero shits about Steam backgrounds. They are, to many folks, completely unnecessary to include. So don't worry about it. Like, make stuff that doesn't look good. Make stuff that feels temporary. Like, don't contract in best practices. It means that this studio hired someone to make this and trusted them and didn't look at the material to be like, oh, this is clearly AI generated, and just put it up there. So it's negligence. And then at worst, they just needed it to be there and they didn't care, and they didn't want to put, they didn't want to put in the disclaimer of AI. So because they wanted to get away with something. So I can't trust them, so I asked for a refund, and that's the reason why. And so I won't be covering that on the channel, which I don't like to say, that kind of stuff. But, like, I am against generative AI. And so when I hear it is being used in a game, in any way, especially in a surprise way, then I'm not interested in coverage of it. That's it. That's all there is to that, unfortunately. Kind of a shame. Because that looked neat. I was following it and I was excited about it, but I can't be sure that there's not AI throughout that whole thing. So, yeah, do not trust the dev. I do not trust the devs at this point. Lord Crash says, I've been playing a bunch of No Man's Sky with it hitting its 10th anniversary as I try to make more actual progress in it than just farting around. It's still a great game. Hell yeah, man. Some people, look, far be it from me to make any comments on people's forever games. If your forever game is No Man's Sky, that's a great fucking choice, man. That's awesome. I'm happy. I'm glad you got a cool forever game, and that's that one. I mean, I say my forever game is temporary because someday they'll put out a new Fallout. Now, do I think that new Fallout is going to be Fallout like New Vegas 2? Like, probably not. I don't think it's actually going to be that. But someday they'll put out a new Fallout game, and I'll play a new Fallout game. Right now, my seemingly forever game is Fallout 4 because new mods keep coming out for it. They keep, like, look, do new mods that I care about come out all the time? No. That is an important distinction. When I talk about the mod scene for Fallout 4, I should be clear. There are new mods for Fallout 4 every fucking day. Do I care about all of those mods or any of those new mods? No, I don't. Some of those new mods, I do not give a shit about. I will look right now over on Nexus. Yeah, I don't need an AI generated cat girl as a background screen for my Pip-Boy. I don't need that. There was somebody made the Fallout 76 version of VATS in Fallout 4. So it is like trying to simulate Fallout 76's VAT system in Fallout 4, as I said. That's interesting. I think that's an interesting idea. I do not particularly care about that, but it's interesting. There's some new weapons that some people made that are kind of fun. And I was like, oh, that's neat. I like that. Somebody went in a couple of days ago to change the Parkview apartments to make it seem like the Raiders actually live there. That is a wild, unnecessary attention to detail that I fully support. There's a new mod that I actually think is kind of fun and terrible. It's terrible but fun. Like a week ago, they made a mod that, like, if you get dirt on you, it's a debuff. And I think that is completely unnecessary and kind of fucking great. But that is still somehow that became my forever game. And I don't quite know how that happened, but that is what happened. Where I just sometimes load a Fallout 4 and be like, all right, let me do this mod where you go and the first thing I'm going to go do is save Nick Valentine before I even meet Codsworth. I'm going to go save Nick Valentine. Like, just do this all weird version of the game that they programmed to exist. They programmed for that to be a thing you can do if you wanted to. If you wanted to, you could go save Nick Valentine first. All right, so that's going to go like this. Wait. So this goes like this. And then that goes... Oh, okay. I couldn't understand the bend in this because it goes in a weird spot over here. That makes sense. It was a bend that didn't make sense to me because it is... Oh, wait, no. It still doesn't make sense to me. Oh, it goes here. Like this. Lord Crash says, Brad Shoemaker, was talking about finding out that people are doing things for the Mr. FPGA platform using AI that seems to miss the entire point of the project. Yes. Vibes coding. Yeah, man. It's a bane on everybody. It sucks for every small community of things that take a long time to make, and therefore the people that are doing it are incredibly dedicated to those small things. Are dealing with this same problem. And the problem is that people are vibe coding their way into brute forcing solutions that don't fully work. And they don't know how to fix it. There was always that talk early in AI, right? Where you hired somebody and you're like, hey, can you make these changes? And then they would send back art that looked very different, that had the changes you made would have new problems because they weren't making the art. They were just trying to do the same inputs, but AI, the generative AI at the time, the models couldn't iterate on things. They were just giving you new things because it's just a fucking program. They're not doing that. They're not going to do the thing that you think they can do, right? The thing in your head that AI can do for you. They couldn't. So that is an issue that is happening in the FPGA scene. We're like, hey, getting a core for this system is difficult. Well, not for me. I just used Claude to do it. And you're like, great. Can you fix it? It is having issues here and here, here and here. Oh no, I have no idea how to do that. I just brute forced it. And then, of course, the people that are like, "Oh, you're gatekeepers." That is the response that folks get when they get any pushback. Like, "Hey, folks are working hard here," and the feeling often is, if MAME, right? There'll be some games that somebody will like fuck up putting out for MAME, and the response is generally by people like, all right, well, I'm going to stop working on the version I was making for that because somebody put out a version that's fine enough and a lot of people aren't going to care because they got the thing they wanted. And it's like, that's a fucking shame. That's a real shame. Yeah, there's a burgeoning scene of dual screen mods for games for the Thor, but a good number are vibe coded. Yeah. And so like it might be enough to say, oh, I got it to work. But the people look, I'm not gonna say that this is true for every single person doing this. But statistically, if you are using AI to brute force a solution to get a game to run, you are not going to play the full game to make sure it runs fully. You are not going to care if, well, it doesn't look, picture perfect. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, apparently these things don't render properly. Because if you actually cared about that, you wouldn't be using AI to get it done. And since you don't care about the results, like, you're decentivizing other people for doing the work because apparently nobody cares enough to actually get it done fully, right? Like that unfortunately becomes the way that many people feel about that stuff. And it's a real fucking shame. And then if you don't know, then you're just like, oh, I came in here and, oh yeah, this shit, hey, wait, this shit doesn't fucking work. What happened? Who fucked up here? All right, we're done with F. And it can be a real shame because it's just like, or like, no one's ever translated this game into English. Someone did. Oh, it was with AI and it's bad and a bad implementation of it. Someone is going to download this. And also, some of these fucking vibe coders have Patreons. Fuck you. And they want Patreons because they see other people using Patreon for the work they do, which is different work. But they're like, oh yeah, well, what I'm doing is no different from what you're doing. It's like, it is. I mean, it just fucking is. You can think it's not, but it is different. It's like, yeah, no. Don't ask people to pay for your AI bills so you can vibe code your way into not actually getting a thing done right. Ugh. Bummers. There is a project that I will not name because I will mention a friend of mine is involved heavily in this project, so I will not name names out of respect. But I do have a friend that is currently working on a project, and for them, it is a community project, and they are constantly dealing with people who are saying they want to help, and finding out those helpers are using AI and aren't actually helping. And he's just like, it's just so fucking, like, the number one thing he said, and again, I'm not gonna like get super deep on it, but the number one thing he said is, yeah, man, it's just constantly figuring out, like, my friend is now learning the ways to figure out as fast as possible if people are actually helping or are just slowing him the fuck down, because he has to take time out of his day to like look at the work they've done and try to parse it and see if it is actual work or if it is fucking bullshit. And that sucks. That just sucks. I don't want to be all complainy here, but, you know, it came in conversation. Is there anything else going on with me? I hit platinum in Hearthstone. It's platinum 9, so I'm not doing like great. I'm nowhere near hidden legend or anything, right? But I'm like doing pretty fucking good in Hearthstone this month, so pretty psyched about that. Last 2 months have done pretty good. I got a druid deck that is silly in a way that I really like. It is a druid deck that is trying to cheat out big minions. Is a quest, big minions, using the jungle quest, which I really like that quest. So it's been fun. All right, so this is E14. This goes. Hey, because this is a thing you can, I'll say this. This isn't frustrating. Because this is a thing you can see from the top, right? They don't have the little numbers. They don't have the little things because it's going to be visual. So figuring out where all of these need to go is becoming a little, not annoying, but it is like, this is taking more work than previous ones. Because I'm now having to like dig through some stuff here. Oh, I did this wrong. That goes like that. And then this goes. This is E14, right? Yeah, so like the numbers E14 isn't on this piece because you're going to be able to look at it from the front and the back. So they can't do that part. Which makes sense, but it's still like not my favorite. Lashberg says, I have Prime for the month, so I finally watched Project Hail Mary, and that was a fun movie. Definitely less hard sci-fi than The Martian, but the jokes are nowhere near as lame. Yes. I do like Project Hail Mary quite a bit. That was a good experience. As always, been playing Vault Breaker mode in Marathon. I now have done 6 vaults, and I'm working on trying to figure out the secret final vault. Hope I can do it before the mode ends in 5 days. I believe in you. You can do it. You can make it happen. Good luck to you, Lashbrook, on getting through all the rest of that. Yeah, I'd like to play Marathon again with the crew. I have not played in a while. I'm not like, yeah, I'm feeling like we should get back into business. Hey, where's E9? Oh, E9 goes over here. Okay. I need E10. I think I did E10 already. And then I did E14 and E13. Did I do E7? Didn't do E7. Okay. Yeah, the multiplayer crew right now, Big Walk is kind of our focus, and Mecha Chameleon, which is great. But I would like to get some more marathon hours in. That'd be nice. I'm going to stay a little late here if I need to. I normally go to right before 11, but I will stay past 11 a little bit if necessary in order to complete this. Oh, it goes here. Because we're so close to finishing it. And then on Saturday, I'll show you the model kit I'm going to start on Saturday, the Gallus J. It's the Gallus J. It is a big friend. This is from Double Zeta. This is a render of it, of course, but the greens are pretty much what it looks like. This is a CG render of that. This is a kit that came out last year. They're making kits so there's new build material, some stickers, not that many stickers though. And it does have no poly caps because it is a modern, like within the last couple of years, since like 2024, 23, or I should say, they pretty much have done away with any and all poly caps, which has been fantastic. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm excited to start that. I'm going to start that on Saturday. All right, so I got E17 and E13, and I don't know where E13 goes. So E13, it was in the last step. Okay. So E13 goes like this, and it goes over here. So yeah, this is like the first time that I've had to really look to see where they go, because there isn't like a cheat sheet for these because they're all fully visible. So that's been kind of interesting. There's only so many places it can go, but all right. We're almost done with this, so we might go past 11 a little bit, but not much. And we will raid at the end of the stream, as always, as is tradition. We always do with a raid. We'll go find someone doing cool stuff. And then I'm going to watch some wrestling tomorrow with some friends. I'm going to play, I think, Mecha Chameleon with some people. That'll be a good time. I have to record a video. My next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, I'm going to record that. Which is, weirdly enough, it'll be a video on why you should get, like... So I have to be clear. I'm not going to advocate that people get Amazon Prime, but I'm going to say, if you have Amazon Prime, this is the anime, because they do a terrible job of telling you what's on there. They do a unbelievably bad job of letting you know about the good stuff you should be checking out on Prime. So I will do that for them. Now, there are some bad things on there. It's not all good, but there's many good shows. I wrote some of them down. Now, for a long time, it was Banana Fish, although that's now, I believe, it's on Netflix now or it's coming to Netflix. Let's see. Banana Fish Netflix. Banana Fish is on Netflix. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's on Netflix now. So people can watch that. But that was not the case up until now. So I'll at least include that when I'm like telling people like they should check that out. But there's a bunch of cool shit on Prime. Like Ghost in the Shell, which is currently airing, and last year's City and New Panty and Stocking. Somehow they brought back Panty and Stocking, and it was really fucking good. It's crazy, but it was really fucking good, and also felt like a true sequel to that anime. Crazy. Hats off to them. All right. Last step. Squirtles gotta go on the stand. I don't know the best way to do this, so I'm going to do it on an angle here. Okay. That's going in that way. Go there. There. Okay. I did it. This thing fucking rules. I want to see... I got to look up the actual price that I paid for this. Let me look on my orders here and see. Where is it? Here it is. Let's see. View invoice. I spent... Oh, I'm sorry. It was $10. I spent $10 on this because I got it on sale. It is not going to be $10 right now. Yeah, right now it is $22. So I got this on sale, and it was definitely worth $10. I would say that this is worth $22. With a little bit of glue to minimize the little gaps. It'd be a great looking thing to have on a shelf or desk. So, like, the problem is that the glue wouldn't really fill. The gaps are kind of like, there's nothing behind it. Like this here, like, yes, I would like this to be not poking up, but there's nothing really for glue to latch onto. But even with that being said, I still think this is rad. Like, it's big. This thing is big. And that's awesome because it's just got like height to it. Like, it's crazy how tall this thing is. Like, there, it's like two phones tall. Like this thing has some height to it, which I think is great. But yeah, for $10, this is crazy good. For $22, like, yeah, that's a good fun build. I liked it a lot. I will. There's various things beyond Pokemon that they do. I will certainly be putting some of these on my wish list. I will be picking them up, especially if they end up on sale at any time. I'll pick them up. But this was rad to put together. I look forward to seeing how the other ones work out. I highly recommend this. This is the 4D Build Pokemon Squirtle 3D model kit. And it rules. I want to thank you all so much for being here. We're going to end tonight's stream by going on a raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool stuff. I got to put these back up. Because the party isn't over yet until we go hang out with some other people. Just like many of you came in from a raid, we'll continue that by going on a raid of ourselves. Who should we go raid? Let's go see who's doing stuff right now. Who's out there playing games and things or doing other stuff. My boy Matt Wiggins is playing Halo 2 from the Master Chief Collection version of Halo 2. So we'll go hang out with Matt. That'll be fun to go see what Matt's up to over there. So I hope you will come along on this raid. I hope to see you on Saturday as I start a new model kit that looks real cool. I'm excited to work on that. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, starting a brand new model kit. We'll hang out. There'll be a good amount of anime talk because I didn't talk about 2 shows that I normally talk about on Thursdays. We'll talk about those on Saturday. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Let's go hang out with Matt and crew. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.